had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best-fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dave from Vikings First and Skull, and we're about to start Who Will Be King, the Fans First Sports Network's NFC North Roundup. In the frozen north, where the Gridiron Kings clash and roar on New Year's Eve, the crown on the floor comes Who Will Be King, the roundup that bites. Pay the bear fierce and proud in the sweet Chicago lights. June and Foster, lions bold, with manes of wounded pride. Dave the Viking, axe still sharp from the Grinchy Yuletide. They gather round the fire of fandom's wild flame to crown the Chicago Bears. Aye, crown their victorious name. With Dennis Green's thunder still echoing loud, crown them, crown their ass, roars the passionate crowd. Turnovers, heartbreak, shootouts galore. Week 17's carnage still stains the cold floor. From Addison's jet sweep dagger to Henry's four-score ramble. From Caleb's bright cannon to Goff's Christmas gamble. They'll hash it out in rhythm and rhyme on Fans First Sports Network in Division Prime Time. So hearken ye Packers, ye Lions, ye Vikes in the fray. The black and blue battle never fades away. Tune in, ye faithful, for glory and sting. This is the saga of Who Will Be King. Begin. And everybody is here. We have Pay and Foster. No June today, unfortunately. And myself, Dave. Hoping everybody had a great, wonderful Christmas, minus Foster, at least during game time for him. And we'll get to talk about it next on Who Will Be King. Gentlemen. Pay, first off, congratulations on your Chicago Bears winning the NFC North Championship for the first time in about 50 years.
Yeah. Hey, the math, not really math in there, Dave, but congrats. I appreciate
the last
it.
time was 2018.
No, it's not bad.
But congratulations.
So since 2018, I think that rounds it all up. What's that, 8 years? 8 years, 7 years. 7 seasons, all 4 teams have won the division at least once in the last 7 years.
Yes.
Parity.
We like a little bit of parity. 3/4 parity works just fine with me. We can there's a certain team we can leave behind.
Oh, we're gonna talk about parity later. When all 4 teams could finish with 9 wins or better.
Yeah.
Possible. All right. First off, let's get to the Week 17 recap. The first game of the week between Foster, your team, and my team, the Minnesota Vikings. What did you think of that defensive masterpiece?
Yeah, that was a disaster. I think we both kind of agreed that it was going to be a lower scoring game. Neither team could really move the ball. I think we went into the half at 7-7. Yet Jake Brosmer ended with 51 yards passing. He was sacked 7 times.
For a net of 3 yards passing. Yes.
Right. That counts for the sacks. Is that what it was? Okay. Cause I kept seeing different numbers, but yeah. So yeah, not very good. But the Lions, they allow 5 sacks of their own. We lost 4 fumbles and had 2 interceptions. So that was, we didn't do ourselves any favors in that category. Once again, we weren't able to run the ball. Gibbs and Montgomery both had 2.5 yards per carry, which is horrible. Very uncharacteristic of, top notch, Lions football. But on the bright side, the defense did play pretty well. They played above their abilities, in my opinion. Like we said, we sacked Brosmer 7 times, and it was we held them to 3 field goals. Very impressive effort by Riker, by the way, is 3 for 3 and had a long of 56 yards. But the one big play that really hurt us was that jet sweep by Addison, which kind of blew the game wide open, kind of solidified things for us. So, bottom line, no running game, poor protection and ball security. Can't turn the ball over 6 times and expect to win. And we, still kind of hung around until the very end. So I gotta commend the defense, although, obviously Jake Brosmer is a 3rd string quarterback and plays like a 3rd string quarterback. But they came ready to play for the most part.
Yeah, Max. Though some things did look better for Max Brosmer, not everything.
Oh, Max, not Jake. I called him Jake.
Everything didn't go well at all for him. And being a UDFA 3rd string quarterback, like you said, he played like it. And hopefully we will not see him this Sunday. It does not look like we will, but we'll find out. But it was a record-setting game. You talked about Will the Thrill Reichard, our kicker. He had 12 kicks on the season over 50 yards, which set a new record for Minnesota. He was perfect on the season if you discount the 2 kicks that missed because they were interfered with, allegedly, with the camera cables. He was he's the best kicker in the NFC, period. And yes. Who else, Peg?
Only the listeners could see these faces.
I mean, there's a certain, that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of Cowboy fans that would disagree with that.
But the Dallas kickers missed more than Riker did.
I'm not going to argue numbers. I do not dig into the kicker stats. That's
not too much. Not too much in there.
That's where I stop.
As much as the Minnesota Vikings are haunted by kickers, it is a relief to find one that we don't have to hold our breath when he lines up to kick. And I feel
that.
And it's miraculous. It's one of those good things that came out of this season. He was dead money as a rookie up until he tore his quad muscle in his kicking leg, and then he struggled the rest of the season. But this year he came in all healthy, and he's been money. And it's been great. But also during that game,
now that you say that, Dave, I get that. I feel that, especially as a franchise that's had kicking. Who's that? Why left is there, and I wouldn't. One of my earliest football memories is 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get.
Yes, go back. We saw that you guys signed Trayvon Diggs today. We'll get to that. We'll see how he does against the Vikings this weekend. But our defense won us the football game. They played outstandingly. They shut down Jared Goff and had him thinking all sorts of crazy things. Now, you had a nice pass to Tesla. Again, he's going to be a nice receiver for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But with 6 turnovers generated, and they literally had him all messed up. He didn't know where everybody was coming from.
Seeing ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Whether it be Andrew Van Ginkel, who had a great game, whether it be dropping or rushing or whatever he was doing, generating fumbles, strip sack. He had a strip sack on one of them. Or the defensive player of the week, the old man, Harrison Hitman Smith, winning it. He hasn't won it since 2018. That sort of rang a bell with me there, Pay. The last time you guys won championship was the last time Harrison Smith had won Defensive Player of the Week. But he won Defensive Player of the Week. It was announced today. And he had the 1 interception and a couple tackles for loss and TFLs and the whole works. He just did great. The offense couldn't really get much going. Aaron Jones was trying. We only had 2/5 of our starting offensive line again, which is a shame. Hopefully we'll have 3/5 this weekend, but we'll see. And it was the 65-yard jet sweep to Addison that absolutely daggered the game when it did. And after that, it was all enjoying Christmas.
Was it?
Well, at least for Vikings fans. Now, also today came out that Netflix, that was the number 1 viewed streamed game in history. Had over 30 million viewers. That's a lot of Netflix subscriptions.
I don't believe nothing Netflix say, but they did get my string.
Hey, you hear the NFL's trying to reopen the broadcast contracts early because they want more money.
Yeah. Hey, capitalism sells, right? I mean, it's what they do. They saw the NBA starting to get money. You know what? We want some new money. Hey, why not?
Well, now I want to go to the next game. The Baltimore Ravens at the Green Bay Packers. This was an interesting one. The Ravens dominated with a balanced attack, building a big halftime lead and sealing the win with long drives in the fourth quarter. With Lamar Jackson sidelined, this question whether he's going to play this week, Tyler Huntley stepped in effectively and could hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, who stole the show. He had 4 rushing touchdowns. Dude had, I think, over 200 yards. One of the best running backs in modern NFL history. But it is what it is. So the Ravens won by their ground game. Malik Willis, even though he went 18 for 21 and 288 yards and a touchdown, could not get it done. If I remember correctly, Green Bay Packers have lost like their last 7 in a row or something like that. Go Pack, go. How many in a row have you guys lost? Asking a viewer that's on here. But it's been quite a few.
7 in a row. You mean games?
Games.
No, whoa. That sounds, well, I think we would know this. I think we would know that. I think that's a little bit.
The Colts losing all those games threw me off too.
Yeah, but the Packers have lost. No, they've only got 6 losses on the season. I think they've lost 3 of their last. They're 3-3 in the last month or so.
Okay.
They're the 3. Yeah, they're a 3-game losing streak currently.
Soon to be 4.
FGB.
Gotcha. But it's, again, the Packers who start out and get all the big praise. They're the best team in the NFC North. It doesn't look like that this year, does it?
The worst.
No, they're not the worst. Thanks to a Dallas tie.
Yeah.
But
it's back to that.
Yeah, it will. We talked about it when it happened. That it would probably come down to that. But have you guys any opinion on the Ravens-Packers game?
Well, you said Malik Willis couldn't get it done. Minor editorial change. I would just say that the defense. No, the defense didn't help.
Right.
The defense got they got hunched by Mr. Derrick Henry repeatedly, like a horse put out the stud, put it like that. And Derrick Henry's the horse. That's all I took from that game. Nothing to do with the Packers offense. You know, they have a pretty decent backup offense when Malik Willis is in the game. As you put it out there, the numbers are very good if you just want a box score watch. And if you watch the game, their offense is pretty capable with Malik Willis run out there. They do a very good. I will give the Packers this credit. They do a very good job of switching up from what Jordan Love does. They're switching up to an RPO-based offense that caters to Malik Willis. But Baltimore did not care. That was a surprise of the week for me. Baltimore did not care. I had written Baltimore off. I said, this is the last game of their season. They'll be in Cancun to start week 18.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry had he thought otherwise. He said, you know what? I got one more left in me. One more. And he took it out on Green Bay. I love that.
A Fork and Skull says, congrats, Chicago. Unfortunately, we allowed the Pack to back into the playoffs. That's true. With our victory, we not only elevated you to NFC North champs, we submitted Green Bay.
Yes. Boo on you guys.
Hey, it happens. And then we get to Sunday, December 28th. Chicago Bears at San Francisco 49ers in prime time, where nobody believed in defense. Take it away, Pay.
It's funny you say that because both teams have a rich history of defense, and both teams say, you know what, defense for suckers. Sunday nights is for scoring. That was an exciting game. I wish I wasn't a fan of either team so I can just watch it and just, not have to care about the outcome whatsoever.
I was worried about your heart there towards the end.
Well, all Chicago Bears fans have had, if you got bad hearts, you're not still here because the Bears have been very cardiac, adverse this season. But after that game, I feel like a lot of Bears fans are saying the same, that, they come out of that game with some sort of a moral victory. Not for me. I don't do moral victories. We took the L. We took the L in a game that we could have won. In fact, should have won. If our head coach, and, he'll get better at this. He's a rookie head coach. If he had some better clock management, I think we win that game. We came into that last play. The last three plays, mind you. The last three plays of that game, I think we were rushing because we had just had bad clock management. Some of those drops in the last drive, while they were confounding, they didn't necessarily kill us, but it added to the problem of which that ultimately led to our downfall. That last play, as they said in the press conference Monday, was a rushed play. Couldn't get everybody lined up correctly, and then once you look at the all 22, like, man, there's no way the defense that San Francisco put out there should have stopped the Bears from scoring from 4 yards out. No excuses. The loss is what it is, but a lot of Bears fans feel like it's a moral victory, and that's what you hear a lot of national media. The Bears, even though they lost, they won a lot of respect. We don't care about respect. Don't care about it. Can't pay the bills with respect. Pay the bills with wins.
Mm-hmm. It may turn up being what eliminates you from the top seed and I think it may have already in the NFC. The loss.
No. The Seahawks are still sitting in the catbird seat of the NFC. And they play the 49ers this weekend, right? So that's for it. That's for all the marbles right there.
Well, we'll see. You guys are number 2, I believe.
Bears are number 2. They could fall to number 3 if they lose again to Detroit, but they're locked in. They're locked into the 2 and 3rd seed, 2 or 3 seed.
Okay, and we'll get to that as the final topic, and we're looking at the playoffs. Foster, what did you think of that Sunday night game?
I was excited. It was an exciting game. I had some fantasy football implications on that game. So shout out to Christian McCaffrey. Got me a dub. And Malik Willis. Last minute decision to add him in as my quarterback. I had Jackson Dart or Jackson. Obviously, Mar Jackson. Obviously, he didn't play, so that wasn't an option. But good game. And the 49ers, they have a lot of guys that have been injured this year. Purdy missed a lot of the season. They said Warner might make a comeback for the playoffs. So can't count them out, especially when you got a player as good as McCaffrey out there. He can do it all.
Okay. Well, it was a good game and fun game to watch. Even if Caleb's throw there at the end ended up short.
Short.
I don't know if that was Caleb or the receiver.
You said what? I don't think it's CMC. Foster, I think it's Purdy. Purdy is on fire right now. He ever since he came back from that, I think it was concussion, or I forget what injury he was out for, like 5 or 6 weeks. But ever since he's come back, they're undefeated. They're averaging 36 points a game, and
probably a concussion. Knock some sense.
That sounds about right. So he's a whole different player since then. He got the brain waves right. Shout out to Pluribus. But yeah, those guys on offense for San Francisco, they're pretty scary right now.
And Kittle didn't even play.
Yeah, Kittle did. Did he? Did he? I don't know if he did or not. The tight end was just open all the time. So
he was on the sideline, I think.
It was 9. I looked at. I think he had 9 different receivers that he connected. But Kittle was not one of them. He was not.
I think he was hurt still.
Yeah, he didn't play, but we didn't play. But in our recap of the game, could you tell? Could you tell he wasn't out there?
The tight end they had out there, whatever his name is, did just fine.
Tonjes. You learned Jake Tonjes' name. I figured, he built like Kittle. It might just be Kittle. He just playing at a different pseudonym.
But it was a fun game. All right, now it's time to take our quick break. And we're back. Now, we've discussed Week 17's games, the victories, and the tragedies. Now it's on to the final regular season week of the season, Week 18. And it starts with the Packers at the Vikings. Noon Central. It's going to be interesting. The Packers head into Week 18 with the number 7 seed in the playoffs. We secured it for them, unfortunately. They can neither move up and they can neither move down. So, it's not very meaningful of a game to them. Now, Coach Matt LaFleur wants the Packers to finish strong and wants them to finish 9-7-1 or 9-7-1 after rebounding from early season inconsistencies, let's call it that. Jordan Love's been the engine of the offense. He may be back. He's still on concussion protocol. Let's see if he makes it or not. I'm hoping not, but it looks like he will be. He was practicing today. So we'll find out. If not, we get Malik Willis. And if Malik Willis and his shoulder can't make it, then we get some dude I hadn't heard of. So their key players will be Christian Watson, as usual, receptions. They did sign Trayvon Diggs to the defensive side. Not that it matters much. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, for the Vikings, it looks like we're going to get J.J. McCarthy back. He was out today throwing the football. The only thing that held him back from last week is his being able to grip the football and throw it because of the micro bone fracture in his hand. Last week it was swollen and it hurt and he couldn't grip the ball and blah, blah, blah. Well, supposedly he can do that now. And they want to see him in the final game. Okay, cool. He's played better since his concussion. So we'll see how it goes. Now, the question is, how many offensive linemen do we have to protect him? We have no Darisaw. We'll have no Kelly. But will Brian O'Neill be back on the right side to give us 3/5 instead of 2/5 of the line? We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think the Minnesota Vikings have won 4 games in a row. They look to make it 5 games in a row and look to go to 9-8 on the season. We'll find out. Justin Jefferson only needs 53 yards to break 1,000 and be the first wide receiver ever to do it in this many seasons in a row. He will be the focal point of the Vikings offense, without a doubt. It's, no matter who's quarterback.
Hell or high water.
Yeah. He's going to get the ball. Now, how does Green Bay react? They may say, oh, no, you don't. Or they may have a defensive player that's into wagering and saying, hey, I'll let you run for 50 yards and then we can split the difference. We'll find out. I heard that on a podcast today and laughed. Not that the NFL cheats in betting.
It would never happen.
They leave that for the
That's not in the script.
They leave that for the rest of the leagues. Baseball, basketball.
Tani.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tommy. Yeah. Didn't think I heard his name today.
But it's going to be interesting. It's the Vikings defense will go out there and it may be playing for the last time for Brian Flores, our DC. We'll find out. There's a whole story in that too. Let's see if they go. They had 6 turnovers last week. Let's see if they can get close to that this week. They've been playing lights out on defense. And no matter who's on the other side, they're going to cause them all sorts of problems and headaches. It's at home, U.S. Bank Stadium, which means it's not going to be 15 below zero in Lambeau, which is cool. But we'll see how it goes. And we can, with a win, we can only move up 1 spot in the draft. So that's not a real big deal. We'll find out. Right now, the Minnesota Vikings are favored by 6.5. Over and under is a low 36.5 points.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't expect much scoring. So why we expect to win is that we can tee off on the Packers squad, which may be resting players.
Yeah,
Matt
they're
LaFleur
locked into the 7th seed.
Yeah. They're already locked in. So Matt LaFleur likes to rest players before playoffs, but they've been playing like dog doo-doo, and he may want to get them back up to speed. So we'll find out. Vegas thinks he's going to rest players, and we'll be going against third stringers. It's going to be an interesting game. I look forward to watching it, closing out our season on a high note, so we can go into next season with all sorts of controversy and wondering who our starting quarterback is, who's going to back him up, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think JJ's, if he has a great game, I think it just creates more confusion about whether or not people like him. If he just bottoms out, it's like, all right, cool, we can safely move on.
Right. But he's been playing top 10 EPA in the last 4 games he's played.
Which is good. I mean, considering, I don't think for his development, and all the fans, you can just throw out who those games are against. It does not matter. What you want to see him is start to put together good game after good game after good game. It's great for his confidence. It's great for his thought process of where he is as a professional. And you also just want to have those vibes heading into next season. Again, everything else, just throw it out the window. As Foster said, you probably, it makes more confusion for next year. I think if he has another good game, you're locked into 9. You hope 9 isn't the bad version of McCarthy. You want to figure that part out. Is it JJ or is it 9? Which one's the good one? You want to keep that one. But yeah, Dave, you also said that the number one objective of this game is to get those 53 yards for Jefferson. Yeah, he's going to get the targets. We want to make sure that they're catchable targets. That's the number 2 objective. If he gets those 53 yards, I think everything flows to where they need to be for Vikings. You go into the offseason but maybe not a high note because you were expecting better things from this season, but you have something to build off on. It's not a complete, as you called last week, Dave, disaster.
Right. Hey, if the way we started, we were 4-8. We're 8-8 now. And it's because J.J. McCarthy has played better. It's because the defense they've found a new gear, and they got healthy from the beginning of the season when they had people out, and they're just absolutely rocking it. And you want to finish on a high note. You want to finish with a winning taste in your mouth. You've discovered how to win, overcome adversity, and a victory against the most hated rival in the NFC North will help with that, even if they're playing their scrubs. You can't tell me fans of Minnesota won't be heckling Green Bay Packers fans as they're walking out of the stadium to their cars after the game if the Vikings win. You know they will. Now, why there's Green Bay Packers fans there, that's a whole different story. Please don't sell your tickets to Packers fans. It is what it is. But we'll see. We'll come next week. We'll talk about it.
So the week the Diggs family has had has been crazy, right?
Oh, it has. Yes.
What have you all heard concerning the release of Trayvon Diggs? I've heard different stories. We was talking about it on our channel. They're saying he missed practice because he stayed in DC and missed the practice and hurt himself mounting a TV, something like that. That made no sense to me. And then I heard that he had asked for voluntary time off twice and got denied twice and just did it anyway. And then they cut him after that. What have you guys heard?
I heard about the voluntary thing. I heard about getting the time off because he's from the DMV area or something like that.
Yeah, he wanted to go home.
But I didn't know that he did it anyways. That was.
And as far as the TV causing the injury, I've heard that too. supposedly dropped.
That's wild. But it ain't the wildest thing to happen to the family. But we're going to keep it to NFC North right now.
Versus the guy I got behind my back shoulder.
What a week.
I know. Now, I led with my game because my game's first. Your game, both of you, comes second. It's at 3:25 Central Time, the afternoon slot. We have the Lions in Soldier Field versus the Bears. Are the Lions going to want to punish the Bears for taking their title? Are the Bears satisfied with just getting to the playoffs? These are questions fans want to know. Foster, what do you think?
Well, I mean, of course only thing we have to play for is bragging rights. I think they let it be known, or Dan Campbell let it be known, that he hasn't talked to Ben Johnson all year. And we got off to a great start as far as the head-to-head thing. We beat them by 31 points. So a lot has transpired since then. And they now are in the position that we were last year. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we have left to play for. It's just bragging rights and another win over Ben Johnson. You know, as we talked about earlier, the Bears have things that are a little bit more important that they have going on. They have an opportunity to solidify that second seed. Yeah, I mean, they'll obviously be trying to, make that happen. I think that I'm sure the Lions will try to, bring out as many guys as they can. But, as far as do we need to play our starters? I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown has been nursing injuries since that Packer game, that Thanksgiving game where he only played a couple snaps. He's got a knee thing going on. So
a knee thing or a knee thing?
A knee, like Knee thing going on. So, Dan Campbell already said that it's not, long term, it's not going to be an issue, but it's something that he's been dealing with, I guess. But yeah, the Bears, the Bears have a very strong running game. The Lions were much better against the run against the Vikings than they were in the past weeks against the Rams and the Steelers. So yeah, it'll be important that we try to stop the run, stop an old friend of ours, Swift, and try to hold on to the ball. 6 turnovers is, that's not a way that we would like to conclude our season. It just seemed like there never was that sense of urgency between the Rams game, the Steelers game, and then the Vikings. It's like, did we just give up? Did we just, it didn't seem like we were putting our best foot forward in these last few games. So yeah, we want to beat Ben Johnson. Hopefully we don't take any, serious risks, knowing that, the only thing that we're playing for is an opportunity to have a above 500 record and to beat Ben Johnson. So, it'll be interesting, but, just beating the Bears twice and still not making the playoffs is just sours everything.
Well, if you beat them and we beat the Packers,
then
we'll both finish 9-8. And Green Bay will finish 9-7-1.
And the other unfortunate thing is that with the Packers losing to the Ravens and then possibly losing to you guys, that would have opened up an opportunity for us to make the playoffs, and which is all hindsight at this point. But
yeah, all the what ifs, and yeah. I heard on one of my podcasts today, they what ifed, well, if only these couple things happen, we would be 10,
then you'd
have 10 wins. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, ifs. Yeah. If all day. But the Bears are favored in this game by 2.5 points. That's basically neutral on a neutral field. the projected over and under is 50.5 points. That's what I'm seeing. So Vegas figures Bears 27, Lions 24. I can see it working out that way. Pay, could you?
I could see it going that way. I mean, that sounds like a typical Bears game. I think for most of the Bears people, most of the Bears players, coaching staffs that are involved wanted to go a little bit different, more so as a tune of how it looked in September with the reverse outcome, right? Everything about Ben Johnson tells me that he holds grudges. Everything about Caleb Williams tells me that he holds grudges. They ain't forgot week 2. They ain't got to speak on it. All you gotta do is put on the tape. All you gotta put on the tape and let everybody's going to feel a certain way about it. And they're going to go out there and want to handle some business. Because the Bears are going to play players. How long they play, that's left to be desired. Major League Baseball does this great. The NFL figured this out last year when they had so many poo-poo games at the end of the season that people didn't need to play. But Major League Baseball, shout out to them, they always do this correctly at the end of the season. They make sure games that have stakes on them, they're all played at the same time as other games that have stakes. The 325 game that you said between the Bears and the Lions that has stakes is played at the same time as the Eagles game, same time as the Rams game. All of those games are interconnected based on playoff stakes. They're all coming on at the same time, so everybody don't get the bench players based on because this team did whatever they did in another time window. But yeah, like I said, Ben's already said the guys are going to play. But that's just from a coaching standpoint. The Bears do need to win to lock up number 2. And that will give them possibly 2 home games if they win in the wild card round. So you want that, right? But from a player's perspective, Caleb Williams is 270 yards from 4,000 yards. That's an incentive for him to go out there and do what he got to do. DeAndre Swift, he got his 1,000th last game.
Gotta shut
Cal
him down,
Manungai.
Gotta shut him down.
Cal Manungai is 31 yards away from 800 yards. That's a 7th round draft pick. Incentive to do what he got to do. Some of our receivers are just a few yards shy of 1,000. So there's a lot of things that I read that wrong. None of our receivers are a few yards shy of 1,000. all of them are a game away from 700. But in any case, I'm going to talk about number 1. That's me. Number 1 is me, not Jalen Johnson. Number 1 for me, I want the guys to be healthy. I want the guys to get in this game, win this game, and come out healthy. That's the number 1 objective for me. I would love for them to win this game because I want the number 2 seed because I want the number 7 seed in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Broski Bear disagrees with you. He said Ben did not say the starters are going to play. He said they're playing to win the game. That's coach speak.
I read that as they're playing this game. Now, when he was asked this question Monday, he did say their starters are tracking the play. That could change. That could change as the week goes on.
Broski's for benching most of the starters.
That's fine with me too. But I've read that Philadelphia is benching there is going to have a lot of guys on the bench as well, which the way they've been playing lately, their backups, they'll probably punt the game because they're locked in at 3. They got to win and hope Chicago loses for them to get to 3. It serves them really no purpose. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. They should have that thought process. Like, we can go into buildings, we can win at home, we can go in your building and make that our home too. That's fine for them. That's fine for them. This is new territory for this Bears group. They should leave no stones unturned. They should go out there and handle business in Detroit safely, and then have that game at home and welcome in a familiar foe and beat the brakes off of them.
Should be interesting. I'll be watching, without a doubt. I'll be watching. Now, the question is, does Caleb Williams get to be your first 4,000-yard quarterback when there's so very few of them this year? I don't know if you've noticed that, but there are.
How many have thrown 4,000 this year so far?
I think it's
Matt Stafford?
few.
I would assume Stafford's one. I think Drake May probably has it as well. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if anybody else.
Anybody in the audience want to look it up? Well, it's simple.
If it's only been a few, I'm just rattling off some guys, some quarterbacks that have had good seasons. Stafford, Drake May, maybe even Baker.
Well, there's only 4. Prescott, Stafford, Goff, and May.
Thought about saying Goff, but it's just like
I completely blanked on Dak Prescott. They just churn up yards down there in Dallas.
On both ends.
Darnold's 150 yards away from it. And Bo Nix is, let's see, he's 210.
Bo Nix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I said so much crap
270. Trevor Lawrence is 250, roughly. 248. But there's only 4 so far this year. And that's a low number. That's because defenses are getting better. We've had a flush of the old quarterbacks go out of the league, and we're just, getting the new ones in. They're not quite there yet. No. Browski Bear says, Bears are locked into the 2 or 3 seed. No point in playing starters. We'll get into the ramifications of the playoffs here shortly, Browski. But it's going to be an interesting game between you guys. I can't wait to watch. Dan Campbell wants to win. Something terrible.
Should I add that early in the year? Like versus the Steelers.
All right. Now that we've gone over those 2 games, the only 2 that matter this weekend, let's go over the other games that matter, and those are for playoffs. We'll start with the AFC. Right now, Denver Broncos lead the AFC race. They have a possibility of number 1 seed if they win versus the Chargers, or tie, and the Patriots lose or tie, all the way down to number 3 if a loss and the Patriots win and the Jaguars win. Do you think Denver Broncos going to end up the end of the day with a win?
They do. I think they ended up as the overall number 1 team in the AFC. I think they're a lot more focused. Not to say anything bad about New England, but we did harp on some of the off the field things going on with the Diggs family. I mean, Diggs is a leader in that locker room for New England. Crazy to say, but he has been a veteran leader. They've all shouted him out all throughout the season. He helps us get prepared. He helps us lock in. And even though I know the incident happened earlier in the month, it came to light this week. And the details are crazy.
Right.
Match that up with
Diggs' side is saying, hey, it's all 100% BS.
Of course.
Which it very well could be.
It could be. But his lawyer also said we're working on a monetary settlement. So
that's never been good.
Take that how you like it. And some of the text messages leads you to believe something, anything. But in any case, you got that hanging over the heads of New England. Vrabel being the coach. While I do like Vrabel, I do think Sean Payton is a better coach in this respect of having his teams prepared and seeing the forest and not just missing all the trees and the grass and everything like that. So to that point, I would expect Denver to be copacetic and ready to take the AFC by storm.
And if they're not ready, he's more than willing to incentivize them like in 2009. All right, never mind. I'll drop that sore spot for the Vikings fans. Then comes Pittsburgh or Baltimore, and it's going to come down to this game. They're locked in as the number 4, and it's who wins the game, wins the division. Who do you think's going to win? Hey, since you are joined at the hip with the Pittsburgh squad on Fans First Sports Network, who do you think's going to win, the Ravens or the Steelers?
So for those watching, I do work for the Steel Curtain Network. One of their AFC North shows, I play on TV the Baltimore Raven guy. So I'm very familiar with their season, very familiar with what's going on in both of those squads. Both of them teams need to go on home. Both of them teams need to pack it up. Both of them teams are not playoff squads. Pittsburgh, they backed into the playoffs yet again. Baltimore, I didn't expect them to even have this opportunity right now the way they have been playing the last few weeks. With that said, coming to this game, Baltimore looks better if you just base off the last thing you saw, right? Derrick Henry, he gave the Packers every single part of his boot right into their rear end, and Pittsburgh lost the game to the Browns. They were tasting
the gum that was stuck on the sole of his bottom of his cleat is what they were doing.
They can winter green.
Mm-hmm.
Try to.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, they lost to the Browns. In fact, I didn't know that they've lost in Cleveland 4 consecutive seasons. If there's not a more clear reason why you should consider moving on for Tomlin, you know what? I don't even want to start the conversation. For this game, it is the epitome of a coin flip. It can go either way with these two teams. Both of these teams are not good whatsoever. The injury issues with Baltimore, the confounding blowing leads, like that's permeated, that's persisted through John Harbaugh's career. Then you got over there in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers is washed. DK Metcalf, he's yanking fans by the collar up out of the stands and getting suspended. And they still run out the playbook that is DK Metcalf centric. So they got plays for DK, and DK is not in the game, which is another reason why you need to fire the coach. Anyway, but the offense for Pittsburgh has been terrible all season.
And Aaron Rodgers, even though he's given they call the play, he disregards it and he throws it to who he wants to.
Which is 4 yards in front of him. But, it's always, we've done this song and dance. The Pittsburgh defense hasn't been great. Their offense has been even worse than that. I mean, pretty much the same thing on Baltimore. And I don't know how they got so many Pro Bowlers, but listen, this game really depends on which way the wind is blowing, to be honest with you.
Well, the next team we're going to talk about is the Houston Texans, who have one of the absolute top 3 defenses in the league. They can finish as high as 3 or as low as 5-7. To finish 3, they'd have to win. Colts and Jaguars lose to clinch the division. That's one of those weird divisions that everybody's close. Number 5, win, and the Jaguars win or tie. Or loss or tie, and the Bills and Chargers, blah, 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 win or tie, yada, 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 yada. 7 is lose or tie, and Bills and Chargers both win. So, Houston, do you think they win the division? And how, if you're an AFC team, how would you like to face them in the playoffs? Because that defense is so, so good.
So, whoever they play in the wild card round, because they're not eligible to get the 2 seed, right?
No, but they can get the 3rd seed if they could win their
right
conference.
That would be the 6th seed would be. I'm not even sure. Well, whoever they beat, they're going to have hell to pay because, like you said, Dave, that defense is for real. That Will Anderson and I'm blanking on his name right now. The guy came from Danielle Hunter. That combination is serious. Mm-hmm. That combination is serious. And we got Al Shahir behind them and some other guys in the secondary. They are for real. Shout out to the whole defensive unit for Houston because they've propped up an offense that took a long time to get their bearings, right? I expect them to win. I expect them to win that division. Even though no disrespect to what Jacksonville's had going on lately, they've made sure that everybody takes them serious. And I think what they've done is a little bit more random, more so than what Houston's done is a little bit more. This is who we are. This is the identity of our team. So I respect that a little bit more, especially coming into the playoff. When you got playoff scenarios, you need to know what your identity is and you can play your game. Jacksonville, it feels like they're a little bit more, as I said earlier, which way the wind is blowing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Foster, did you notice when Pay inserted some Chicago language in one of those sentences when he talked about their bearings?
Missed it.
I saw the play on words. I thought it was great.
Fair down.
Then we have right now guys that are battling for the bottom seeds to be on the road are Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo Bills, and that's about it. We'll see. It all depends on the AFC. Now we'll get over to our conference, the National Football Conference, which is presently led by the Seattle Seahawks at 13-3. They could finish first and get the number 1 seed with a win or tie over the San Francisco 49ers. And that game, I do believe, is the Saturday night game. We'll find out. A win clinches the number 1 seed. A loss drops them to number 5. And a wild card. San Francisco, if they win, will clinch the NFC West. A tie versus the Seahawks or a loss to the Rams, lose, tie, Cardinals, blah, blah, blah. Number 6, loss, Rams plus win. They go 1, 5, or 6. Chicago Bears can only go between the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed. A win versus the Lions plus an Eagles loss or tie, or a tie and the Eagles loss gets them to number 2. Number 3 is a loss and an Eagles win, or Eagles win or win and the Eagles win will get them the number 3 because the Eagles own the tiebreak. The Eagles can finish either number 2 or 3. They're the inverse of the Bears. And then for the 4th seed, it comes down to Carolina or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They close out their game together
Saturday.
They're the first game on Saturday at the 3:30 Central Time slot. The Seattle and San Francisco's at the 7:00 p.m. time slot. Those games on Saturday are all on ESPN/ABC. So if you get a local broadcasts and not ESPN subscription, you can catch them on ABC. That's going to be interesting to see who finishes and wins the NFC South. And the fact that the Saints have played so well towards the end, and that the Atlanta Falcons beat the Rams, that was something. And then comes the Rams. They could be either 5th or 6th seed, depending on whether the Cardinals plus the 49ers lost to if they win versus the Cardinals, which I would suspect, and a loss versus Seattle, they'll finish 5th. Number 6, a loss, and the 49ers win. So, and then Green Bay's locked into number 7. They can't move no matter what. Unfortunately. Thank you, Dallas, for that stupid ass tie. With that, with Green Bay locked in, if they lose tomorrow, if the Lions beat Chicago, every team in the NFC North finishes with a winning record. And we will still be the toughest division in football. Some people may say, wait a minute, the NFC West. Well, the NFC West has got the Cardinals. So whoever finishes 4th in our division gets to play the Cardinals next season. We'll see. That's between
playing the Cardinals as your go-away present. Yeah, congratulations.
Well, it's either that or it's the Rams, most likely. If you finish 3rd in the division, it's the Rams. And if we have a tied record, Foster finishes 4th because we have the tiebreakers. Yeah. Literally, this year's schedule will be an inverse of last year's. Or finish, I should say. Any more comments, gentlemen?
I just want to see good football this weekend. It's a lot of playoff matchups, especially on Saturday. And obviously, with the Bears are going on, definitely some things you want to follow out. Ain't that right?
Yes. Yes. What do they say in Chicago? Hey,
bear down. All 2025 going 2026.
What do they say in Detroit? And of course, in Minnesota, we say, Skol Vikings! Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been a frustrated Chicago sports fans, bleachers to speakers, Vikings first and Skol, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.